One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a novel written by Ken Kesey which takes place in a mental institute in the 1960s. It is run by the tyrannical big nurse, Nurse Ratched, who controls every aspect of the facility according to her rules. Simple activities such as watching television and brushing one's teeth are regulated and must be conducted only if permitted to do so. If one does not obey her rules, they are subject to harsh punishments which include the inhumane electroshock therapy. Within every novel regarding a social issue, such as mental disability, would need some sort of societal constant to refer to, instilling a sense of realization in those who seek to break free from their burden of illusion. In this case, Randall McMurphy, a loud, rowdy worker, gets entered into the facility and plays this role by incorporating his own rules and blatantly going against the big nurse herself. McMurphy's hobbies perhaps make up the reason for his importance throughout the novel. The most prominent of the three hobbies is actually gambling, in which falls under a major theme of the manipulation of fate throughout the novel. He also lives up to his title of the societal median by sneaking in alcohol to the facility, which appeals to the idea of disregarding the power of the big nurse and having no rules. Finally, there are many instances of McMurphy being over-sexualized in terms of his description of women, which relates to the inherent lust men should have, but in this case do not, because they are in fact mentally disabled. Quite possibly, the master manipulator in the novel falls into the hands of the role of the nurse, or Nurse Ratched, also known as Big Nurse. The novel's interesting portrayal of a tyrannical force is put into the hands of a nurse, which would typically be regarded as an individual who would love, protect, and serve his or her patients. This role reversal is a prominent theme throughout the entirety of the novel, and it challenges the conventional inner workings of mental facilities of the time. But this is ultimately up to you, whether you decide if she is the novel's savior or demise. An interesting clash of themes involves McMurphy and the Big Nurse, which essentially symbolizes a collision between the two most powerful spiritual forces, the messenger versus God. There is a purposeful quarreling plot between the two, which is touched on further in the novel and the image to come. Eventually, the conflict escalates and causes the ultimate climax of total chaos and tension to occur between the two polar powers of McMurphy and his ideals of freedom and salvation, and Big Nurse with the restrictions and violence that she exerts. Altogether, the novel provides a unique collective insight in the madness within the walls of a postmodern mental institution. Rather than a thrilling plot, Kessie offers a much-needed and intriguing insight on the conflicts that involve characters who symbolize their respective issues butting heads with one another. The war within is seemingly never-ending. What will you think? Now, it's time for you to read and find out what happens next.